Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, Rahayu. Before we begin, I want to say this with humility. Everything I am about to share is not an absolute truth, not a dogmatic teaching, and not a judgment of any religion or belief system. This is a personal reflection from a human being who recognizes his limitations, yet remains deeply curious about the boundless potential of consciousness, knowledge, and lived experience. In this video, we will explore a fundamental question. What purpose does God serve in human life? Not from a single point of view, but through a holistic lens, bringing together multiple perspectives, personal spiritual experiences. The philosophy of Nur Muhammad and self-awareness, science, psychology, neuroscience, and quantum physics, interfaith and philosophical perspectives. And before we go any further, allow me to invite you to pause for a moment. Take a slow breath, and allow this question to truly settle within you. If your heart feels calm, if your mind begins to open, if something gently resonates within your awareness, touch the like button. Not for me, but as a quiet signal that you are ready to listen fully. And if you are new to this space of awareness, feel free to subscribe so we can walk this reflective journey together slowly yet deeply. Now release your preconceptions, let go of judgment, and allow yourself to be fully present. Because in the next chapter, we will no longer speak of God as a concept, but as a felt presence alive within human consciousness. Let us begin this journey slowly, with open hearts and open minds. Part 1. God as a source of safety and the center of consciousness. Have you ever asked, with genuine honesty, not a book, not a teacher, but your own heart, is God truly present as an absolute reality? Or does the idea of God emerge from humanity's deepest longing to feel safe amid the uncertainty of life? Why, since the beginning of history, have human beings always looked upward, seeking something greater than themselves, not merely to be worshipped, but to be inwardly embraced? In psychology, this need is known as the attachment system, a longing for a secure base, for comfort in moments of vulnerability, and for something to hold on to when the world feels unstable. Neuroscience reveals something similar. When people pray, meditate, or engage in contemplative remembrance, the brain enters a state of calm, stress begins to ease, and life once again feels meaningful. Yet, in deeper inner experience, God is no longer merely a concept outside the self. God appears as a sense of unity, a center of consciousness that connects us to one another, to nature, and to the unseen energy that sustains all things. Then the question shifts. If God is the center of consciousness, could God be found, not out there, but in the depths of the self, through silence, reflection, and inner experience? And one final, honest question for us to reflect on. Does God, as a source of safety, cause human beings to stop growing? Or does it instead give us the courage to transcend ourselves? Part 2. God and Nur Muhammad, the essence of consciousness. In my inner journey, God did not appear as a distant figure in the sky, but as consciousness revealing itself through the many faces of lived experience. Within the understanding of Nur Muhammad, borrowing a phrase from Media Ayat Tersurit, consciousness radiates into the elements of life, not to be separated, but to be understood as a single unity. Fire appears as Ifrit. It burns the ego, brings trials, and compels human beings to grow through moral and energetic transformation. Water appears as Kidda, flowing intuition, softening the heart, and teaching empathy without the need for words. Light appears as Jibril, not merely a bearer of revelation, but an illumination that enables human beings to recognize truth within themselves. Earth appears as Adam, the foundation that grounds consciousness, creating structure, law, and order so that life can be lived. and when Hawa is the very breath of life itself, an unseen vitality, without which all form becomes empty. At this point, the question is no longer, where is God, but rather, is God present in every trial, in every law of nature, in every encounter with another human being? When human beings fall, rise, and grow, is God punishing or gently guiding? And if one day human beings were to release their concepts of God, would their consciousness fragment, or would it become whole through direct experience of life itself? Here, the essence quietly settles. God may be understood as an energy of unity, one that brings together spirit, body, and the universe without being confined to a single name, a single symbol, or the boundaries of any one religion. Part 3. Scientific and Neurological Perspectives. At a certain point, science and spirituality cease to oppose one another and begin to illuminate each other. Neuroscience reveals something intriguing. When human beings pray, meditate, or enter deep inner stillness, the brain itself begins to change. The limbic system, the center of emotion and safety, grows calmer. Anxiety softens, and the heart feels more spacious. The prefrontal cortex, the space of reflection, self-regulation, and morality, becomes more active, helping human beings act with awareness rather than mere reaction. And at a subtler level, neurotransmitters begin to work in harmony. Dopamine offers a sense of hope. Serotonin brings balance, and endorphins give rise to peace and quiet joy. Then quantum physics arrives with another whisper, that human consciousness is not truly separate from the universe. Everything is connected through energy and information, continuously resonating with one another. At this point, the question itself changes. If spiritual experiences have a measurable impact on the brain and the body, is God nothing more than a belief construct? Or is God the conscious energy that unifies the body, the mind, and the cosmos? Did humanity invent the idea of God to understand a complex reality, or does God exist as a compass for an evolving consciousness? And most importantly, how can we integrate science and inner experience without forcing one to dominate the other, without setting them against each other in conflict? Perhaps the answer is not to choose one, but to listen to both, from the same space of consciousness. Part 4. God in a multidisciplinary and interfaith context. As consciousness expands, we begin to realize a quiet yet profound truth. No single religion, no single scripture, nor any single path can fully contain the wholeness of God. Not because religions are wrong, but because God is too vast to be confined within a single language, a single symbol, or a single way of understanding. If God is an infinite wholeness, then it is natural that people from different cultures approach God in different ways. Their languages differ, their rituals differ, their symbols vary, yet what is often touched is the same: meaning, love, connection, and consciousness.
Then we can ask honestly, is God absent from every teaching that calls us to goodness, from every ritual that soothes the heart, and from every symbol that connects human beings to something greater than themselves? At this point, the greatest challenge is not to find out who is most right, but to learn to understand without judgment, to see without feeling superior, to listen without feeling threatened. How can we understand God in a complete, just, and harmonious way, without belittling the paths of others, and without losing honesty toward our own inner experiences? Perhaps the answer lies in the courage to integrate it all: personal spiritual experience, the depth of philosophy, the clarity of science, and the wisdom of multiple disciplines. Not to force them into one, but to harmonize them within consciousness. There, the essence quietly settles, God is not bound to a single definition, a single scripture, or a single practice. God is a symbol of unity, a consciousness that continues to move, continues to grow, in step with the evolution of humanity and the universe itself. Part 5. Closing thoughts and reflective questions. In the end, human consciousness does not grow through memorization, but through experience, learning, and the courage to look within oneself. The name we call God, whatever term we use, can be understood as a bridge connecting human beings, their own consciousness, and the vast, infinite universe. At this point, I do not wish to give you a ready-made conclusion. I only want to leave a few questions for you to take home into your own silence. What purpose does God serve for you, personally? Not according to any teaching, not according to anyone else, but according to your own life experience. Does God appear to you as a sense of safety, as a moral guide, as a unifying energy, or perhaps all of these at once? How do you honor the spiritual paths, religions, and knowledge of others without losing honesty toward your own inner experiences? And if human knowledge is never truly absolute, how can we continue to learn, to grow, and to align ourselves with this boundless unity? Perhaps there, the conclusion quietly rests. For human beings, God is not merely a dogma or a figure beyond oneself, but a process of consciousness, a process of uniting outer and inner experience, reason and feeling, self and the universe. All knowledge, all experience, all disciplines of study are not limits, but paths to touch wholeness. And true life is not about possessing absolute certainty, but about learning to see God within yourself, within others, and within the universe, with an open heart and a consciousness that continues to grow. If this space feels clear to you, if this conversation accompanies you to think more deeply, or simply allows you a pause from the noise, your support is not for me. It is the energy that keeps this space of consciousness alive, in whatever way, listening until the end, leaving traces of thought in the comments, or choosing to walk closer within this space. There is no obligation, only resonance, for consciousness always finds its own way. Thank you for watching until the end.
Saya Andi Sanjaya, seperti biasa pesan dari Bisa apa? Teruslah bertanya, melepas segala bentuk, menemukan diri sejati. Sampai jumpa di video selanjutnya. Salam kesadaran sejati.